Hello, guys, and welcome to Latino Vegano. And this is episode number 34. I'm Roger, your host. And you guys know I love talking about veganism from all different angles. And today, I'm going to talk about beginner's guide to veganism, vegan 101. How to go vegan, basically. And this should have been a topic that I should have talked ways ago. But, I feel like it was the right time now. So since we're getting a lot more traction now, I find it's appropriate to talk about transitioning. I use the word transitioning when I mean to, or I refer to say, people that are moving from a conventional diet or a non-vegan diet to a vegan diet or to a whole food plant-based diet. So I call that period transitioning. So this episode will be a vegan 101. I'm going to bring up a couple of tips on how to do that transition, how to go from non-vegan to vegan, and how to have a healthier lifestyle when it comes down to going from a conventional diet to a vegan diet or to a plant-based diet. And like I always say, I'm gonna give you a little twist. I'm gonna give you a little bit of the Latin flavor to it. So let's stay tuned and thank you guys for all the support. Don't forget to subscribe and let's go.
latinoyvegano.com.
So guys, I'm going to be focusing on 3 tips how you can make that transition. And this apply for any non-vegan that wants to go vegan, for vegan curious, meatless Monday type of person, a vegetarian that wants to go vegan or wants to eat a whole food plant-based diet, and from anyone that wants to do a healthy transition in just a short period of time. All this information is gathered from my, or is taken actually from my program that I developed in the last 14 or 15 years. I've been going through my mind, how can I be able to assist and help more people? And that's when this idea of creating a program that help these people type of transition was created. I'm officially a vegan lifestyle coach, and I love helping people doing that conversion from a non-conventional diet to a vegan diet, or from a meatless Monday type of person or vegetarian to go whole food plant-based. And this is going to allow me to help you guys during that transition. So I have taken information out of that program and I put it in this podcast so you guys can benefit out of that. So I'm going to start with those 3 basic steps. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to have a lot of, going to find a lot of value on these tips, and hopefully it's going to be very helpful because it's all based on my personal experience. I'm sure if you're new to the lifestyle or if you're curious about the lifestyle, you have tons of questions. You have tons of questions like, what do I eat? Where do I start? What's ethical or what's not? What about B12? Should I be doing honey? I mean, all these questions and many more are the ones that constantly will be coming out and going through your mind. You have all these different people telling you protein questions, for example, is another one that comes a lot. And I'm sure that it's overwhelming, especially when you're making a transition or a change this big in your life. No matter what age you are, you're always going to get flag or comments from all different sources. And I can remember myself when I made this change back in the day. There wasn't no social media. There wasn't no podcast that I can listen to, or there wasn't a lot of books related to the topic. The word vegan was not even a word back then. So it was really difficult for me to kind of find the right information actually. Now we're living in a world where we have a lot of information and tons of information out there. So I want to be able to provide you guys with accurate information and valuable information regarding this lifestyle, which helped me maintain this lifestyle for that many years, or become a vegan for that many years, and thrive, which is always the word that I like to use. So it's going to be based on my failures, stories, best recipe, everything I had done in this lifestyle. I actually was able to put it in a program, and now I'm be able to express it to you through this podcast. So let's get right into it. The first tip that I always want to start with is having the right mindset. What does that mean, Roger? What do you mean having the right mindset? So for me, it's always been important in anything that you do in life, and this applies to anything, right? That you need to have the right mindset. You have to be focused on what's your goal. What's your goal? Your goal is to become a vegan. Your goal is to become a healthier person. Your goal is to become um, a more successful um, activist. What exactly is your goal? Is your goal is just to, let's say, I just want to lose weight? Well, that's you have to put that goal. But what happens after you lose the weight? So is your goal is you know what? I do not want to contribute to the harms of any animal. Okay, then set up that goal, and then what's next? So you gotta be able to have a really clear, defined goal. You need to write that goal down and make sure that you focus on that goal 100%. Why is that? Because if you don't have that right mindset and the correct mindset, it's gonna affect you in your journey. It's gonna be in a situation where if somebody says something that is out of your goals or out of your norm, you're gonna just shift, and you don't want that to happen. So you always want to stay focused, no matter how difficult it is. You want to stay focused on your goal. Meaning, so if you decided to switch, have a healthier lifestyle, or go vegan, or eat plant-based, that's your goal, and then suddenly they say, well, you decided to go to the nutritionist or to the doctor for some reason. You did not go to the doctor prior to doing the lifestyle change. You went during your transition. Then the doctor's going to say, oh, the reason why you are having, or your level of X, Y, and Z, or you're low in protein, or you're low in your blood pressure, or whatever that is going to be because of your change, because you're not eating meat. And that's not 100% always true. You could be having a deficiency prior to having the lifestyle change. But since the doctor has no knowledge of what exactly it is, the first thing that he or she is going to point out is veganism, or is your plant-based change. So you have to make sure that if that situation happens to you, or you facing that situation, that you still stay focused to your goal. In my advice is to find help related to your specific problem. Talk to an expert, and this is maybe a step I'm stepping what I'm going to talk about further down. But find help with someone directly, or focus on your lifestyle. Don't go and talk to someone that has no idea of what a plant-based or vegan lifestyle involves. So seek for help with someone that is related to your topic. So going back to what I was talking about, mindset, you gotta change your perception. We're facing a lot of culture, we got a lot of paradigms, and it's all about food related. What does that mean? When you was a kid, when you was brought up, your parents fed you when they give you certain food, and that's the same food you've been eating for as many years. If you a brand new vegan, that's the food that you've been eating for X amount of years. Same food, same exact same food. What does that mean? That you already programmed to eat the way you're eating. That not necessarily means that that's the right food that you need to be eating. That does not mean that that's the healthiest food that you should be eating. You're just being programmed that way because that's the way you was brought up. As a kid, as a child, your parents ate certain way, certain food. Then you can't blame your parents because your parents are just as programmed as you are, because they eating the way their parents fed them, and so on and so forth. So it's as you can see, it's just the same effect. It's just the same concept for each single generation. But you are the one that had to break that tradition. In my case, I stopped it. I ate for 20 years just the way my parents fed me. Even though when I was born, I was allergic to I was allergic to cow milk. My mom said she has to feed me, or she had to give me soy milk because I was allergic I was allergic to cow milk. Well, duh. I mean, I'm not a calf. I'm not a, I'm not a calf. So why should you giving me cow milk? You know, I need to be drinking breast milk. I need to be drinking human milk, right? That's what I need to be drinking, and maybe eventually, uh, if I can't drink breast milk, then look for an alternative. But she decided to give me soy milk, so at that point, I was born vegan basically. So I always joke about this. But yeah, but anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is like we've been programmed a certain way since we were little, and we have to break those paradigms. I use that terms a lot because it does make sense. Even though I spoke about this prior, that applies to anything in life. It also applies to our culture. Our culture is the same way. No matter where you're born, your parents have a specific culture, a specific way of raising you, or the environment that you live in kind of brings that up also, and that creates the way you are, pretty much. You know, that's why you speak the language you speak. That's why you act the way you act at certain times, and so on and so forth. So there's no much different to the way we eat. So you gotta have the right mindset to break that culture, to be aware that, okay, I'm gonna face rejection, and I have to be ready to handle those rejections, and I have to be able to be prepared for anything I'm gonna need to be able to fulfill this goal that I have. And that goes to my second tip, which I always say that my second best important tip is educating yourself. Why did I say that? Because now you have the right mindset. You say, okay, I'm ready to try this vegan thing. I'm ready to be eating healthier, eating a plant-based whole food lifestyle. You know, I'm motivated. I know it's the right thing to do. I feel good about myself. I know no matter what people say, I'm still going to do this. So you got all of that stuff taken care of. But then next question is, okay, where do I start? What do I do? How do I make this transition? And what I always like to talk about is educating yourself. So you have the goal, and now you need to have that help or that push to get you to that other next level. And how do you do that? My best suggestion is by educating yourself and by mentoring. What does that mean? Every successful person in any aspect of their life have a mentor. You go to the gym, you have a coach to help you, or a trainer. You go to school, you have a teacher. You go to university, you have a professor. Anything that you embark in life, when you have no knowledge, or your knowledge is very limited, or a specific topic, you always seek for help. You can do your own research, which I also recommend doing your own research. Do your own research. You start with your own research. And maybe do your own research starting first and as much as you can. And the next step would be, okay, who can I talk to that can actually help me to go over those limitations that you might possibly be facing. And the key is to finding the right mentors. It's always the right mentors. Not just any mentor. Somebody that not only have the experience, but also have the knowledge. That can walk the walk, talk the talk, like I always say. So that's very important. That's part of the education process that I always talk about. You got to find a mentor. You got to do your own research. You got to investigate, be curious, educate yourself. Education is power. Knowledge is power. With the right education, with the right knowledge, is going to allow you to go way, way, way farther. Because then you're going to start facing situations where people are going to be like, well, okay, what about protein? And you can answer them, well, as you know, protein is in pretty much in all food. A whole food plant-based diet is nutrient dense. So that means that you can find all three of the basic macronutrients in all of these meals. You can find a vegetable like spinach or kale that have fats, carbohydrate, and protein in one. So I will never gonna be lacking on protein. So you can have this conversation. But they say, oh, well, what about the animal? Okay, then you can say, yeah, you know, by me going vegan and fully vegan, you're not only having a healthier choice when it comes to eating, but you also not contributing to a industry that exploit animal. And we see animals as equal. We don't see animals as less. So we don't want to be part of the animal sufferation. So that's the reason why I went vegan. And then you can have all this conversation that turns into educating people instead of bashing people or being negative towards people. So you try to educate them. So education for me is key. I'm not gonna say that it's not gonna take a while to get all those answers, but again, if you find the right group, the right mentoring group, the right mentor, the right teachers, you can overcome a lot of those things. And I highly suggest that, because that's going to take you to the next level in your journey. And it's going to allow you not to go over the mistakes others made. One last thing that I wanted to point out when I'm talking about education, or tip number 2, is read books and watch documentary. There's so many great documentaries out there that explains. If you're a person that loves watching documentary or like documentaries, I highly suggest watching documentaries, because they kind of give you, in a short period of time, with a lot of great details and explanation, a lot of the things that vegans talked about during the entire journey. So it allows you to have a more understanding. You can watch documentaries that talk about eating healthier, or talk about animal cruelty, or talk about the environmental aspect of it. So I mean, there's so many documentaries that talk about different aspect of veganism, that you can literally find all the information that you want in those documentaries. Also, there's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of books that not only recipe books, but there's also books related to the topic about diet, environment, so all this information that you can find. So find sources that fits your style. For some will be documentary, for some will be books, for some will be podcasts, whatever it is that is your best or your most efficient source. But keep educating yourself about the topic, and you never stop learning. You always learn something new, or you always learn something that you didn't know about. And it's great that you keep yourself educating with this topic, because it will allow you to become not only a better person, but also a better mentor for the next generation as well, even though we're talking about beginners. Tips number 3 is, I always like to talk about how can you add to your plate instead of subtract to your plate. Because I know a lot of people, when they start their journey and with veganism, they always face that, oh man, it's so difficult what I'm gonna eat now, and I don't know what to eat now. All the food that I'm eating are animal-based food, and so on and so forth. So it seems to be a very difficult transition for a lot of them. And I always like to talk or say that you just wanna keep it simple. What does that mean? You just wanna keep it simple. Especially when you're starting something new, you wanna keep it as simple as possible. Think about what you're adding more than what you're removing. Change your mindset. It's not about, we're talking about mindset. Instead of thinking about, oh, I'm going to be missing this. No, think about, what are you going to be adding to your plate that's going to actually make your plate better. So it's going to enhance your plate, not it's going to minimize. So basically do that. So one tip that I have for y'all is, this is a simple tip. Go ahead and track or write down right now all the meals that you eat on a regular day. What is it that you eat on a regular day? Is it you like, let's say you like rice with, I don't know, some sort of protein, animal protein, and salad. Whatever the meals are, just write it down. Sometimes you get a quick sandwich. Write all those meals down that you eat. So, okay? All right. So once you have those written down, what you need to do is, you need to find a simple plant-based alternative for those meals. I guarantee you that for every single meal or every single food that you eat, you're gonna find a plant-based alternative. What do I mean with that? Is let's say your diet is right now you eating, I don't know, sandwich at lunch, and in the morning you're eating eggs with pancakes, whatnot, and then you have at lunch you already have a sandwich, but then you have a couple of snacks, and then in at dinner time you eat a big plate of, I don't know, rice, I don't know, some sort of animal protein and something else. Then literally all those things you can literally veganize it. You can eat those meals in the vegan form. So the sandwich that you're eating, for example, let's say you're eating a salami sandwich, you can find vegan salami, literally. And if you're actually living in a place that, I don't know, that you don't have access to this type of alternative, then put beans on it, put mushrooms on it, put stuff on it that are accessible to you, and just keep it simple. Just try to find alternative. I have several recipes on my channel. I have several recipes in my program. So I actually been able to simplify and customize a lot of my meals from back home, from my roots, because I'm Panamanian, and I was able to do that. So my point is that you can find all those meals and veganize it, because there's already people who have done it before, and it shouldn't even have a problem. Or just find places that sell those if you don't feel like cooking also, or just keep it simple. The one thing that I also like to talk about when I keep simple is you gotta make sure that you eating a balanced meal. Yeah, keeping up with the keeping it simple conversation, you gotta make sure that when you're eating, you want to eat as much healthy as possible. You have to keep in mind that the most or the main macronutrients are key to a healthy lifestyle, to a healthy diet. So those are carbs, proteins, and fat. There's some other micronutrients also, but these are the ones that you might want to focus on, especially if you're on a journey to lose weight, or you're in a journey to having a healthier diet. Even if you're not focused on the health aspect of veganism, you can always eat a more balanced meal, which allows you to have a healthier lifestyle too as well. Going back to adding and not subtracting, you have to have a mind that ethically you're saving life. Yes, you are. So you have to always have that in mind. So when we talk about adding, not subtracting, from the health standpoint, you're eating food that is healthy and is giving you more life, more energy. It's allowing you to live longer and thrive in everything you do in life. So it's kind of like the fountain of youth. Basically, I heard someone saying that as well. From the environment standpoint, by cutting meat and dairy off your diet, you're reducing your carbon footprint. And you don't care about the environment. You have to at least care for the next generation. I do care, so I hope you do care too. So all these things that you are doing have an impact. You have that impact. You're doing it, and I believe in you. So keep it simple. Don't focus on subtracting out of your diet. Add it. Look for basic things. Don't focus too much on the small little details. Always make sure that you're having a healthier lifestyle. You're educating yourself. And I believe these 3 tips will help you kickstart your journey. This magnificent journey that I've been doing for the last 20 years. Having the right mindset, focus on educating yourself and learning about veganism, not just whole fruit plant-based, but the whole veganism as well. Finding the right mentors or mentor. Finding a community. Finding a place that you can share ideas, ask questions. There's tons of channels, tons of groups out there. Latino Vegano has a group, has a page that you can join. You're also part of the Latino Vegano Institute. And then we'll have a group as well. We have a group as well that you can join and be part of a community. So you can share all your ideas, your recipe, and so on and so forth. That's part of also. I truly believe these tips will help you kickstart your journey. Having the right mindset, focusing on educating and learning about veganism and a whole food plant-based diet, finding the right mentors, community are a great way to stay on track and have a healthy transition. Here at Latino Vegano, we have the Latino Vegano Institute group. It's a private group that is going to be just for our members, and we get to share our ideas. It's a great community. There's also many other great communities out there also that you can join and have tons of questions, and there's a couple of experts in there in different fields that can help you with any questions you have. Or you can just reach out to me if you have any question related to veganism or anything related to the lifestyle. If you need any help, like I said, don't worry to hesitate. Contact me. You can visit my website, latinovegano.com, and I have tons of information there. It has a lot of content too. You can check out my Facebook group and my Instagram group as well, and Latino Vegano on Facebook, and it's Latino.vegano on Instagram. And next week, I'm going to be having a great conversation with another great leader in the industry. This is going to be a presentation of a friend of mine that is not only a vegan athlete, but is also a vegan realtor. It's a great combination. And we talked a little bit and not a lot about the power of the mind and achievement goals, because we love to inspire people, and he also loves to inspire people as well. So that's what for next week. But for now, if you guys have anything else, have any more comments, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give this podcast a like, a comment. That definitely will help us out to reach out to a lot more people. And thank you so much. Love you guys, and go vegan. Let's go.
Gracias por escuchar Latino y Vegano, un show donde se habla todo lo relacionado sobre el veganismo entre la comunidad latina. No olviden suscribirse a este podcast, seguirnos en Instagram, Facebook, YouTube y a visitarnos en latinoyvegano.com.